Oh, I gotta take this off.
Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Logbox. It's clobbering time with me and Marcus, and I know the time is crazy. I said midnight, and now it's 11, but I'm on a new work schedule for the time being, and until I figure out what exactly is going on, everything's kind of up in the air as far as scheduling is concerned. But we got Matt Barr. How you doing, Matt? How's everything? Zach Tan, hope you all having a blessed day. Good, I got my blessing. And as always, it's an open invite if anybody wants to pop in. And
please come.
Yes.
Nobody wants to hear me talk for an hour and a half.
Yeah, me and Marcus are both tired. Long day.
Oh, well, I'll be more tired in the studio because that's stressful. This is fun.
So, as always, Heroic Tales 2 is still available. The last couple of pages, I'm waiting for 2 more pages to be colored. The script, Bill Williams is all caught up as far as lettering. Like normally, I wait until everything's colored and then I do all the script, but I couldn't do that. So now I'm lettering it as their script. What I do is I write a full script. Renzo draws it, inks it, Oscar colors it, or Daniel colors this particular script.
Do you write a full script?
And then I rewrite the script as far as the thing, and then it's lettered, and then pre-press, go publish. So, but now I'm as Daniel is heading in colored pages, I'm scripting it because we're already a little bit behind. I was supposed to be shipping.
I'm sorry about that, but
end of this month, so there's still time. It depends on how long it takes to do the pre-press, and then maybe there's no wait to print. Maybe. Let's hope.
So yeah, print.
So
I'll say something about your scripts. Well, like I did the scripts. There's enough open, for the artist. It's not like really.
Yeah, I give a description, but again, my word and the images in your head don't always line up. But I kind of like that. It's kind of fun.
Well, I like to send you the layout so that you could say, hey, you didn't get that right. And I'm also like, in me, I sit there and I'm looking at every word. What did he mean by that word?
Yeah, you torture yourself.
Grass. What kind of grass? What I like. This is what I do. So,
yeah.
So it's like it's all kind of. A little faster. I don't feel like I'm hamstrung by that.
On the new script, I had to be like, no, we have to totally change this, and he's like, okay.
It's easier for him. I'm fine with changes. I don't care. It's easier for Renzo to change it than me because I'm completely traditional, but. I don't. It is what it is. I mean, I have a light box that can be.
Hey, we got RJ in here.
Hey, RJ.
Hey,
how
what's
did
up,
you
guys?
do at the fight today?
Hey,
dude, I got my ass kicked in the fight.
Did you? I was watching the baseball game. I'm sorry.
I don't mean to sound like a sore loser. I think I did in the chat afterwards because you can't hear people's voice in the chat. But I didn't. I really underestimated how people hate trailers apparently, and they were expecting like live sales pitches. And I technically didn't even play a trailer. I made a video specifically for that competition.
I'm surprised you said that.
That backfired on me. Yeah, it backfired big time.
RJ, you want to turn on your camera? I can't stand talking to avatars.
Oh, shit. Everyone wants to see live faces.
Yeah.
I Coctagon, I hear from you guys.
Yeah, it's conversation.
I'm folding laundry right now, actually.
John, I have to.
You don't want to see me on my phone while I'm folding laundry.
Yeah, why not?
Well, there's that.
Better than the circle pulsating. So
I don't disagree with you, John, by the way, just so you know. And that goes to the people that I am on with tomorrow. Like, I want to see them. And when they're not on,
it's a proxy for hanging out. You know what I mean? Like,
we've seen RJ before.
The mask on.
Yeah, you've seen my face. You know what I look like.
What was I going to say? So tonight was the first Coctagon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Michael Bancroft has his channel and COC, creator-owned content, and they're goofing around, having fun, like a new way to promote the Coctagon. So what is it, like was it 8 people this week or something like that?
I'm not crazy.
Yeah, about that. And I think it's a great idea. I mean, people are kind of tired of regular promo shows. Some people say it's like an infomercial. So I get it. He's mixing it up. And I think it's a cool idea. I think he's onto something. He's on something. Yeah.
I don't disagree with him in theory. I think it is a really good idea. I'm not sure anybody can handle it.
Well, this community, a lot of people can't.
Well, I think that's a lot of indie community. It's not just this community, like indie comics in general. Like from the years when I was at indie comics in the late '90s, nobody can take any type of. It's hard. It's all sensitive. It's not just.
Oh
this.
yeah.
How was it? I'll watch it later because I just got home from work. I didn't sign up for anything because I know I got to work during this time, so I can't really do anything.
But I don't.
I wanted to see one first so I know what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of thoughts. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool idea. Is on something.
Who won tonight?
Gemini Warriors, Gemini something.
I'll have to look. Well, I'm sure it'll tweet it out. I'll look at it then. But I know that what we do tomorrow is try. I feel like we should do this. So tomorrow we have Dan Lawless on. We don't have a creator, but say we had you're on. I had to pick out a character and draw one of your characters as a promotion. At first, I was like, I can't sell any of these characters. And then I got into it. Like, I want to promote that guy. If I could draw that character and it helps promote your comic and you sell one comic because I drew it, I feel good. I like that. I think that makes our draw stream a little different. A little pressure filled, but a little different.
No, it is fun. I do like those streams where people draw other people's characters. That is fun.
I don't know. The leadership of our show is questionable, but I like the show. They're crazy people. Everybody's a crazy person.
Everyone in this community is a crazy person.
They're all psychos. I swear to God. Even the ones I like, they're psychos. I'm a psycho. It is what it is.
I gotta watch the inaugural Coctagon. I'll watch it later.
Yeah, I think it was
an hour and a half drive to work, hour and a half back. So that's kind of I put on all of this stuff, and it just keeps my mind occupied while I'm driving.
Do you listen to it on 1.5 speed? I listen to everything on 1.5 speed.
Oh, I don't. I should. I never thought of that.
Then I get through a couple at a time. I'm like, I finished this one. I can start the next one.
That's a good idea. I should.
You don't have to. I just asked.
So, well, I had other things to say. I forget. So, I might as well tell you what I got scheduled for the week. So, a couple of people got back to me, so Monday night, and I'm saying 11:59 because whenever I say midnight, people are like, do you mean Monday? Do you mean Tuesday? Then I get confused. So, 11:59 Monday night, Eastern Standard Time. Cooper and I, Telepathic Buddy, we're going to do another theology. We're going to talk about the Book of Job.
If I'm up, I'll listen. I can't make any promises.
Yeah, it's a work night. And then Tuesday at 11:59, Heather Vele and I will talk about her comic. I think it's such a good comic. And then Wednesday night, 11:59, I'll have Phil Diaz on.
Oh yeah, I might watch Phil.
Yeah, so
Phil's such a good guy.
Yeah, Phil's a great guy. He's very talented, very good guy.
He's tall. He's very tall.
Oh, he is? He looks like
in real life, he's 6'6". I'm 6 foot. I looked up at Phil. I hung out with him a little Heroes Con. He's a really nice guy.
That just confirms my
met his brother too.
He is a lycanthrope.
He's a nice guy. He's tall, boy.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
And he's talented. That book is good. That I have.
He's a good writer. He's a good writer, and he seems like he's got good ideas, and he's like focused, and he gets it done. So we got Crenshaw. Crenshaw, how you doing? How's everything, Crenshaw? Good to see you.
Oh, hey.
2x Zach Town watched everything at 2x speed. 3x speed is usually not available.
Well, 2x speed's a little fast for some people.
I'm glad people. I got a couple of private messages that people seem to be liking the theology.
Oh, that's good. I saw T Bunny over the weekend. I gave him the cover I finished for him.
Cool.
Yeah, he was on the Coctagon.
He looks like an hour from me. So.
Yeah, he was on tonight too. How'd he do?
He got eliminated in the first round like I did. Yeah.
Now,
I thought he did good though. I thought he made a good sales pitch.
Now, is the chat mean? Is it mean spirited or is it?
The chat was pretty brutal, to be honest. I don't like saying things about chat or customers, but they were kind of they were pulling punches. Man.
Chat was brutal.
Yeah, they were in rare form, but this is a new format. Maybe that has something to do with it.
So what was the criticism of your campaign, RJ?
Honestly, none. Like the harshest that was what surprised me so much. The harshest criticism I got was that I used a video, and they said they call it a trailer, which is not. Like it's totally different than the videos on my campaign, and I made it specifically for this Coctagon.
I don't see
Um,
why that's an issue. I think that was a
but they're
good
like, "Well, that's
idea.
a trailer. That's lazy," and like they ripped it apart. I'm like, "Holy
I
shit!"
guess.
So they don't
Wow.
want to see a trailer. They want you to sell it.
Yeah, but like that's not how the competition's set up. The rules say like you get the stage for 3 minutes to do whatever you want to do. So like I did talk to the chat for a while. It was a short time. It was only like 30 seconds, but I made a little closeout because I figured like I could pitch my book fast, 30 seconds to a minute. You got 3 minutes. So I figured might as well do something fun that I think would be unique. But
Huh.
people weren't digging it.
It's longer than you think, 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes is a long time
Yeah.
to be
It's,
filibustered.
it's like, yeah,
I'll check it out. I'm kind of curious.
I'm interested too.
Yeah, let me
Maybe
know
I'll
what you
watch.
think. Maybe I just suck.
I was watching the baseball game. I know you're not into that.
I was working. I was working.
Oh, I know you were working.
At least we're not crawling. I'm not crawling through ducts anymore.
You're not in the HVAC?
That phase, everything is wired up. But now we're just going through and fixing all the stuff that got missed or couldn't be done.
Oh, punch list stuff?
Yeah, punch list kind of stuff. And I've been on this job for 3 weeks, and next week I'm the only electrician on the job. Everybody else is either furloughed, vacation, or
furlough.
so I'm like,
I got to take some vacation days. I might take one soon.
I got the keys.
We have to get this done. I'd love to take a Friday off and finish.
I'm there by myself. I'm like, oh my god. I was like, you just leave a list of everything you want me to do. I don't know what the hell, I'm not familiar. There's whole floors of this building I haven't even been on yet. So, but anyway, enough filibuster. We got a bunch of people watching. Thank you. So I'll reintroduce the show. It's clobbering time. Let's pretend that we're 14 years old or in the comic book store, and Marcus, for some stupid reason, thinks Batman can beat up Spider-Man. Well, we know he's crazy, so we argue about it. We have fun. You know what I mean? It's all good fun talking about these comic book characters. Stuff that believe it or not, it's kind of weird that we're in a comic book sphere and we barely talk about comic books. So let's
yeah.
That is strange.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't get it doesn't get all the views. I don't know what to say about it. Like the comics are the commercials to the entertainment.
I was gonna say
what passes at what entertainment is. It's really strange, but it is what it is. I mean,
I think it's because we're an internet-based community is why, and that lends itself to more drama.
Oh, no kidding. Nothing's worse. Well, we're learning more and more how bad the internet is for you in the past few days. So
seriously,
I'm really.
I didn't crawl around through all that ductwork and I get screwed alive by all the screws.
Oh, you do? It's terrible.
Yeah, I do get cut once in a while. Luckily, it's not that bad. But when I say crawling around through the ductwork, I'm making it sound more dramatic than it is. I'm not doing the John McClane. Like I'm opening up a vent, and you got to go in and like crawl in maybe a foot or two to get to the wires because you don't wire something 30 feet
way in the back. Yeah, that makes no sense at all.
What I mean? So there has to be if you're doing splicing stuff like that, there has to be an access hatch. But some of these vents are made for tiny little midgets, and that, believe it or not, when it's too small, it's worse than when it's too big.
How old's the building?
That's what she said.
This building was built in the 70s.
That's not good.
Yeah. So but all the ductwork is new. But the building was built in the 70s, and there's a lot of pipe work and stuff like that. So they got to put the ductwork. They're not going to cut random pipes because they don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah, it's new because they didn't build it with air conditioning in the 70s. Everything has air conditioning now.
So if it's small, I gotta climb in there. And my partner makes me look like a baby, so he ain't going in. So oh
God,
and it's good.
I know the feeling.
He's the big charge guy. I'd rather do what I'm doing because if there's a mistake, it's on him. You know what I mean? So I just came in. I'm the new guy. He's been in the building for a year, so it's just like, okay, we're gonna put this here. And I climb in, and but like I have to put one arm in, and then like force my other arm, and it hurts, and then you start to get a cramp, and then you start.
Oh no, I can't do this anymore.
Right, I start to get
my injuries. I broke my elbow and my wrist, and I cannot. I am not good with my arms up in the air anymore.
And then you breathe, and when you breathe, you can't get a good breath because the duct is, you start to panic. You really do. Try that out, ladies and gentlemen. Like,
I know. I haven't been in ducts, but I've been under houses, and it's not a whole lot.
But when it's a big duck, I actually physically have to go in, but I don't have to go John McClane like I climbing through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody gets a little claustrophobic. I mean, it's kind of natural.
Only one time did I say I'm not doing this. Only one time I got like panicky, and the foreman is a little wiry guy, so he'll go in, but you don't want to say, "Can you do this, please?" to the foreman. You know what I mean?
No, you have to give
when
it
he
a shot.
When he saw this, he was just like, "Yeah, you ain't getting in there." And then it pissed me off because I dropped my razor knife, and it's now part of the building. It's now.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
So anyway. Like I say, Tony Grigo, he answered your question. More theology streams, yeah, good. People seem to like that. And if you have an idea for a theology stream, message me and come on and talk about it.
I think it's a good idea. Like, it's a different stream. Not everybody does that type of stream.
And the funny thing is,
I'm not good at it. Like you guys
doing them all with an idea. Like the Book of Job is just something that I've always been interested in theologically wise. But for King Solomon, and then Melchizedek, and I forget the other one. These are all because of comic book stories, so they are comic book related. And King Solomon, we turned it into a comic book stream.
I get the buy.
Safety laws: all air ducts must be large enough to adults to crawl through. Yeah, but sometimes
not in the 70s.
Sometimes there's just not physically enough room. It's just not enough room. We should make a crawl stream and talk about ducks.
We could do that. I do confined space mazes as part of firefighter training.
Oh, you're a firefighter? I forgot. Yeah. Confined space is.
We do it in my gear and stuff, but we have an SCBA. So like you were talking about the breathing, like at least I have air to breathe.
Yeah,
You gotta bring your inhaler, man.
Up on the roof, there's 6 gigantic units. Units. Like, do you ever look at a building and there's like a little small building on top of a building?
Yeah.
Sometimes those are the elevator machine rooms. Sometimes they're water towers, and sometimes they're air conditioners. Most likely, they're
conditioners. Yeah, I know.
So on this building, there's 6 of them.
It's a big building.
Is divided to 6, and they air condition a 6th of the building. But I was literally going into them and crawling around and going, oh God, it was kind of fun, but it was kind of scary. And like I said, at one point, I started to panic. I was like, I'm not going to be able to get out. I'm not going to be able to. I can't get out because there wasn't enough room to turn around. Like, I had to do the work, and then like I crawled in, and then you have to crawl out backwards. It was very disorientating.
I'm too big for that.
And I have my phone in my teeth, for light. But
you gotta get a headlamp on a phone in your teeth. You gotta have a helmet, right?
I do. I have a headlamp on my helmet. But
those headlights never work on the helmet.
10 seconds, it hits the ground, and then it pushes forward. You know what I mean? And or it's hit your head, so it literally gets stuck. Is this riveting?
I'm interested because I've been not in ducks and stuff.
Type D in the chat for ducks if you want me to continue talking about ducks.
I don't do this as much anymore, thank God. But I used to have to do it in houses to run wire for phones and internet and all that stuff.
Yeah. And it's funny because there's Danielle.
No.
Danielle is an older black woman, and she's the janitor overnight, and she just hums. She's got headphones in, and she just hums and mops the ground and everything like that. And we all just go out of our way to try to scare her. So I sneak up, and I tap her on the shoulder. She goes, "You didn't scare me." Like, she knows this woman's got Daredevil radar sense,
You should make her a character.
Yeah, Danielle. She's tiny. She's just this tiny little Jamaican woman.
That's funny.
What is the most dangerous situation you've ever encountered at a work site? This is stupid of me. This was absolutely stupid of me. It was the old Marvel Comics building, 40 East, and it's 46 stories up. And if you go to the top, it's one of those buildings that has a green, it used to be a copper pyramid, but it's green patina. And there's lights on it. These light bulbs are like maybe half as thin as a football, but twice as long as a football. So they're these long oval light bulbs, and they just shine on up. And one of them went out, and the owner of the building said, "You got to go up there and change it." So my foreman, who's a crazy drunk, we just go all the way up. So we take the elevator, and then there's a ladder. So we're all the way at the top of the building, and then there's just a hatch, and we come out, and there's literally a ledge, I'd say 13, 14 inches, and then just a sheer drop, 46 stories. And I come out all like, wow, this is cool. And we're walking, and all of a sudden I just froze. Meanwhile, he continues around. We don't have safety harnesses on, nothing. One wrong step, and it's literally 46 stories down. And like, I just came out there, this is all fun. And he's just spinning the light bulb. I'm holding the other light bulb, and I just couldn't move. Like, I froze, you know what I mean? But I must have been out like 13, 14 feet back, and you can't turn around.
No, I can't do that anymore.
The way to get back in is you have to walk all the way around. You know what I mean? Because there's not enough. Oh my! So I walk backwards. Oh my God! I'm panicking thinking about it right now. How stupid of me! How stupid! And my foreman, he was kind of a jerk. He was like, "Oh, if you're an electrician, I was like, I ain't doing this ever again. We got to get safety harnesses. We got to get strapped.
No, that's got to break a ton of OSHA laws.
Oh yeah, I know.
Danger. I was pulled off a pole and 10 feet and hit the don't fall on the street. It's really hard.
The other dangerous situation I found myself in was also the greatest situation. So it balances out. But I was working in that same building, and on the 18th floor there was a staffing company, and it was just filled with the most beautiful women you've ever seen. It was like Madman. Just every woman was glamorous and beautiful, and you went in there and they got you jobs. You know what I mean? And just this glamorous woman, she looked like poinsettia that you drew. Ran the company, and then she must have just hired beautiful women. Now here's the thing: it's August, and the air conditioning broke.
Oh no!
So my foreman, he had to go on furlough, and he was kind of a jerk, and he would always use whatever magic to put off furlough. You have like 8 weeks a year. He put off furlough so much that he owed 46 weeks furlough.
Oh wow!
So he couldn't deny it. So he's out of work. I've never seen him again. So he's out of work, and I'm the electrician in the building. I'm the new guy. You know what I mean? And this is literally my first year as. I'm no longer an apprentice. It's my first year as an official electrician. And now I'm in charge of a full 46-story building. And the power goes off. So I go in, I go in there, and I'm like, what's going on? And I just look, all of these women are in bras. They're just in bras, sweat's just glistening on them. And I'm like, oh
no, that's uncomfortable. Like, you guys don't.
It is. It's fun to watch that in a movie, but in your job, you just like, what's going on? Like, you want to leave because you can't poop while you eat. You know what I mean?
It's
this
like,
is work.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to say the wrong thing or something like that. So I'm like, and the owner she's got her shirt unbuttoned down to her belly button, and they're just like it, and I'm sweating for two reasons. It's freaking hot in here, and all these beautiful women are in bras, and their hair is just rolling down their face. That, you know what I mean? It was like a Playboy whatever. So they're like, yeah, the AC's out. So, troubleshooting, which is to me the worst part of being an electrician. So, you know what I mean? It's like it could take you hours, or you could just find it. So I'm opening up everything. I'm flipping circuit breakers, doing everything, and I can't find it. I spent 8 hours trying to find, and then the second day, I'm still trying to find it. And she's going, you ain't ever going to fix it. She's the owner's just like, women, put your clothes on, because he's never going to fix the AC when all the girls are dressed like that.
Funny.
And they're walking around like with little skirts on, just bras on, walking around the office, and I'm just like, oh God, I'm married at this point too. So I'm like, oh man. So I traced it all the way outside the building. So outside the building, a couple of illegal Mexican guys were fixing the brick facade of the building, and they're just walking around straps like Spider-Man, and they were stepping on that. There was an actual box where the piping went, and there was a splice. They stepped on it and broke it. So when I looked out the window, I could see the wires just sticking out of the box because they stepped on it. I was like, oh my God. So now I got to get a harness, go outside like Spider-Man. It's pouring rain out, and the wire is live high voltage. This was the worst possible scenario. And I didn't know how to turn it off. I couldn't figure it. So now I'm on a building, stepping like this. I'm probably 18 stories in the air, rain, working on a crushed box, and I'm making a live high voltage splice. And I just remember there was and I'm by myself. So I had to, I called one of the guys who operates the elevator that I was friendly with. And I was just like, could you come out here and just be with me? And he's like, why? I go,
no,
when I fall off the building or get shocked,
somebody's going to call you. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But you should, because this guy was like the kind of guy, like you say hi to him, he insults you kind of guy, like, a joke a minute kind of thing. And he's making fun of me the whole, and then when he saw what I actually had to do, he was like I've never seen him become serious before. He's like, okay, John, okay, I'm going to be quiet. And he was just like white. He's just watching me do all this. And he's, and then you just heard the air conditioning and all the girls started clapping. And I came in, I was like, you know what I mean? It was the scariest thing I ever did, and then of course I go back the next day because they got to fill out a ticket. All the girls are all dressed, and the owner is just like, yeah, I bet you liked it better yesterday. I was like, I was too scared to even enjoy it,
Yeah. When you said that, it's funny. Like I go to college. Well, we do everything now, but a lot of it's college students, right? And I'm stuck on hold. And this is not as exciting, but I'm much more comfortable if it's a bunch of guys, like college guys. I'll sit there and stay on hold to close out this job or get what I have to do. 45 minutes, no big deal. But if it's girls, young girls, college girls, I do not want to be there. Right. Because I don't want to be, I'm a big, ugly guy. I don't want to intimidate or scare them. So I know what you're saying. You don't want to do something wrong.
I was going to say, I don't know if I should tell the story, but now I guess I got to tell the story. I'm working in an all-girls nursing college in Manhattan. It was a scam school. I'm not gonna mention the school, but it's like a fake college kind of thing, and it's all girls. And we're changing out all of the fire alarms. So so my partner has to go and stand outside the ladies' room and tell people there's guys working in the bathroom. So I'm in there on the ladder and I'm taking out the device and we're putting in the new LED computer, you know what I mean? Remote, it's modernized. So we're taking it out. And girls are still coming in the bathroom. Like we can't physically tell them, like we could say this guy's working in the bathroom, don't come in. And they're like, okay. And then they push past it. You know what I mean? Like you can't put your hands on them. You can't say anything. You could just let them know. And these girls and I'm on a ladder and they're doing stuff on the stalls, you know what I mean? Like,
and they don't care.
And I'm trying not to look,
so
you know what I mean?
Funny.
Because I'm like, oh God. And one girl, I don't know what she was doing. She was like changing in the stall. Like she opens the door and she's coming out and she's like changing. And one of the other girls goes, there's a guy right here in the ladder. And she goes, if he wants to look, he can look. And I'm like, like you said, if you're in a bar and you're drinking, this is the kind of stuff you pay for. But when you're at work, you get nervous. You don't want.
No, because you could get fired if you say the wrong thing. Right. If they say one thing, that's the end of you.
My partner was this guy Brian. He was like just handsome. He looked like Chris Pratt. Now that I think about it, he looked like Chris Pratt from Parks and Recreation.
Oh, he got phone. He got digits then, right? He got phone.
But he was married, and his wife was just this sexy, beautiful woman who used to even beat him up if he looked in the wrong direction. She was tough Irish girl.
Oh, I hate when that did.
But girls would, when we were working on the job, girls will walk up to him and like try to kiss him and give him his phone number and stuff like that. And he was like begging to be transferred. You know what I mean? And it's funny to say this kind of stuff, but ladies, like guys at work, I don't know if it's a new thing, but we're talking since 2000 to now, it's like women at work are scary. You know what I mean? Like we're not risking anything, you know what I mean, at work.
Well, you're warned at the job, like the jobs are telling you not to do anything.
Right.
And you're like, wow, you're like, what? And then that there's some guy in the past who met his wife, on the job.
Oh yeah,
like the old.
No, I did no. Let me
really
clarify exactly. There's a lot of guys who met their ex-wives on the job.
Well, that's true. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I like the subject. Think about going to the EMT, paramedic, or electrician. So hearing people talk like that is cool.
So we're gonna do next week. Is not gonna be it's clobbering time. It's gonna be adventures on the job.
It's electrical time.
Sorry, did I hear EMT,
it's working
paramedic, or
time.
electrician?
I'm sorry.
You could probably hear the baby in the background, but it was funny that you think about all jobs. I have a lot to share, but I got to make this baby quiet.
Yeah, I can barely understand you. I'm sorry. It's High Lord Zart. I just wrote the Origin of the Patriarch, which I'll send you, Marcus, right after this.
Oh yeah, sure.
Just give me some feedback.
Sure.
And I kept the.
I want to draw it. Or maybe I don't want to read. It's already drawn. Maybe I want to draw it.
No, Renzo's got to draw it.
I know. I'm kidding.
But he's an EMT, and I purposely kept the EMT stuff down because I know somebody's going to call me on it. So maybe you can check it. The resumes were glowing, and the pictures helped. Absolutely, man. That's frustrating. Forget Repairman Jack. I love to read The Adventures of Electrician John. Yeah. Have you ever seen Brazil? Robert De Niro as Tuttle.
You go to people's houses. It's weird, man.
No,
I used to go to houses.
I don't go to people's houses.
20 years I went to houses.
I don't go to people's houses. I go to businesses. You know what I mean?
I'd rather be in houses than businesses. Businesses used to drive me nuts. But it's just phones, It was phones at the time.
Hail the Conquering Hero. $5 on Norbert Sykes, a.k.a. the Badger, to win this one. He once sliced and diced the breakdancing Kung Fu demon. Well, there you go.
Oh, that's a good opening to start.
PB. Early mornings in Manhattan, the surveyors look into the windows with a transit scope and see people making the magic happen. Free porno. People keep their curtains open on purpose. I can tell you stories. I was working in one building in Midtown Manhattan, and it was the part of town where you could open up your window and reach and touch the next building. Someone's
wow. Yeah.
So we're doing a renovation. And if you got, work starts at 7. If you got there around 6:30, you got a nice show. There was next building was a woman in a wheelchair, and she had this beautiful blonde nurse that would show up, go into the back room, and change. Talking full on change everything, underwear, panties, bra, everything into like a sexy nurse outfit. And we're sitting in the dark. Everybody's watching. You know what I mean? And she's 9 feet away. You know what I mean? Through this window, through that window, and everybody's just. And then the stupid laborer, this old Italian guy, looked exactly like Mario from Donkey Kong. He takes a flash camera. This is 2006. Who has a flash camera? Like not your phone flash, a legit flash camera with the cube on it, and everything, and takes a flash picture. And she's covered up, curtain down, end of show. We were like, you idiot. Every man in the world. Every job, you look out a window and you're just like, I want to see a naked lady. We finally had it, and this guy, this guy had to take a flash picture.
We should do a new series about jobs. Sorry, I was trying to contribute earlier, but I had a screaming baby. So
yeah, I can hear you now. What were you gonna say?
Oh man, I just thought there's so much I could contribute about like the job stuff. You were talking about the AC being out that one time. I was like in the reverse situation. I responded to a situation in a movie theater. The movie happened to be Magic Mike.
Oh God.
And there were no men in the theater. So I get there not knowing what's on.
Dressed as a fireman.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's literally what happened. Like I'm first to walk in, theater full of women giving me a standing ovation. Magic Mike's paws on the screen. They think the show is just gonna go on. There's a guy having a seizure in the aisle. Oh, man.
Let's see you fire hose.
Yeah, no, that was my story.
That's funny. That's great. that could be like a sitcom, like a real.
I think you and I could just like do a whole series about like job stuff.
That's really
think
funny.
About those stories, and then you think Seinfeld is life, because these are all things about nothing and happen in your life. That's Seinfeld.
Oh yeah.
Right, like the weird stuff. What would happen? Well, that happened to George, or something. if you watch Seinfeld and like it. I happen to.
I like Seinfeld.
I love Seinfeld.
Like every sitcom, I just hit a saturation point and I'm done.
Well, I've watched them all a couple of times. I'm not watching it now because when I was injured, I watched it every night, twice a night for like all those months.
Your comment was right here, PB.
But like Seinfeld is life. There's those odd things now. There's no telephones anymore, so a lot of their, but just those weird things that happen to people during and they were, malignant narcissists, every single one of them. So that made it funny.
Oh, I'm gonna tell the last story, then we'll get into it's clobbering time. But this didn't happen to me. But this happened. An old timer did this when I was an apprentice. So we're talking. He actually retired because of this story. But it was a MetLife building, what used to be the Pan Am building, and there was one of those firms. I don't remember exactly what the firm was, but like a law firm.
Yeah. There's so much in there.
And he installed a phone and then put it in the wall and hid it. And this phone tapped into their phones. So when you call, you know what I mean? So like the phone company, this was registered to whatever. So what it was this phone was an automated phone, and he bought one of those 976 numbers, $4 a minute.
I remember those. Yeah.
And what this phone did from them, it would call that 976 number, just hold for 10 minutes, hang up, and call back 10 minutes continuously. So, it would be 4 times. It was 40, it would be like 40 minutes or $5 a minute or something like that for 10 minutes. So it would be $50 every 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Continuously, 24 hours a day. And everybody's on the job. And all of a sudden the police come and everything like that. And, everybody's just working because nobody knows about this except for him. It's a total secret. And all of a sudden, like, they're investigating. He sees, like, they start knocking down the walls and everything like that. And they find the phone. And that guy all of a sudden put in his retirement papers. It disappeared.
Why?
Supposedly, this phone was calling that 976 number and billing. So
why?
This finance company was being charged $10 to him. He owned the 976 number. He was
making the money. Wow, that's really
rumors have it that he made millions in 6 months. And then just retired. They said that he took off the Belize. He was like an old single crazy kook, and then just took off the Belize.
Oh my God. We had people in New Rochelle when I was in the phone company. We had a couple of people swore their phones were tapped. We get called out. We hated going there. We get called out. And there's a tap on my phone. Any click, like it's old phone lines. Of course, you're going to hear some noise sometimes. And they would think, and it's very rare that anybody's phone is tapped. They have to put something in the box behind it, And it just, people are weird.
It's, you must have seen it. The old, it was an old telephone man. It had a dial on it. And
yeah, I had those. Yeah.
So
I didn't have the dial kind, but I've seen those. Yeah, I still have the butt set.
My father was an old telephone man, so he would have that as his tool.
Yeah.
We had like 3 or 4 of them laying around at home.
Yeah, we could call a butt set. I have 2 of them in my truck now. Once in a while, I need it.
Right, and then
it's more updated. It's not that old.
I'd be working in an old building. They would still have those old 44A blocks with the wires. So I'd bring one in, and you just all of a sudden you just hear.
We didn't need cell phones because for the longest time, and the phone company, when it was the phone company, we didn't need cell phones because we could just go to the box and tap in.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Phone call and call the office.
We'd find it, and then we'd find people talking. They're like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, "Hey, this is the devil. This is the devil. Go to church." And then,
but you can make, I got to call my wife. We'd have beepers, but we wouldn't have cell phones, and we didn't get cell phones until we started doing fiber because now there's no phones.
Right,
like we have no connection.
They don't do those copper 44A blocks anymore.
No, they don't do any copper anymore.
That is like the first Seinfeld episode though. Before cell phones, he's like, you go out in public, and you're just out. People call, they leave a voicemail. They don't know where you are.
Yep.
Oh yeah, like they're waiting for the phone call to a Chinese restaurant. That's like the first one.
Oh yeah.
So much of it, if their cell phones had like about at least a quarter of their episodes are null and void.
Right.
Cody, I went to inspect a property deep in the heart of Albuquerque's infamous war zone international district. Not only did I get a gun pulled on me, but a pit bull was set on me. Fun times. It's funny because I had a friend that worked, that lived, back in college. Everybody every semester, people lived in different houses or whatever. So I had a buddy, and he lived in this shady house. It was like in an industrial area. I'm trying to remember where in Albuquerque, but there was like one or two just houses, and he lived there. And it was really shady looking. And he moved without telling anybody. And we were the kind of buddies I would just like, oh, TV's on. I just open the door and go walk in. I just remember driving there. It's like 2 a.m. Oh, TV's on. I open the door, walk in, and it's just like a family. I'm lucky I didn't get killed. I was like, sorry, just turned around and left.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta get stay away.
Today on John's Long Box, Tools and Torpidity, a tradesman sale. Yeah, got some funny stories. I'm sure I can't remember them all. All right, so let's talk about It's Clobbering Time.
Okay, so who's going to do the Badger first or Madman? What do you want to do? RJ?
RJ, do you have a pickings? Do you want to pick Madman or Badger, or are you just here?
I'm biased, so I'm gonna pick Badger because that's my.
You could be biased.
Okay, you want to take Badger?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put up Badger, and tell us about Badger.
I'd like to draw the Badger.
I don't know a ton about Badger other than he's a Mike Baron character. He knows martial arts. Mike and I I know more about Badger through discussions I've had with Mike personally. So this is like going to be a very unique avenue. But like we discuss, I mean, those who know call sign Orion, I'm not trying to like do a pitch, but this is like basically my knowledge of Badger. A lot of my interactions with Mike were like over coffee, talking about comic books and writing the script for Call Sign Orion. And a lot of that was, involved the martial arts of it because Orion is he's basically a master chief of like the equivalent of a SEAL team. It's in the future. And he showed me a lot of Badger. We talked about his experience at his dojo, Karate West. Mike Baron actually does karate. So I know that's a lot of like the background of Badger and like the influence of Badger. And I also know Badger makes like cameos in Nexus books, and I think that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's my full extent of knowledge of Badger.
Oh, okay.
But I'm picking Badger.
So Badger,
you want to fill us in on Badger?
Yeah, he was published by Capital Comics under just like Nexus was about the same time. Now I think it was he was a little after Nexus. I'm not exactly sure. And drawn by Bill Reinhold, who I do like his artwork a lot for the most part. And he moved over to First Comics for years. He sometimes guest starred in Nexus for somehow. But Badger was psychotic, so he'd have these hallucinations, and eventually it was drawn by Stephen Butler, Jeff Butler, Bill Reinhold, Chadwick Jackson, Geist, Mignola, Ron Lim. But basically, he's Norbert Sykes. He's a Vietnam War veteran with a multi-personal disorder. He could talk to animals, and he knew martial arts, or urban vigilante. He would call everybody Larry because Larry is the name of his father, who left him when he was like 5 or 6 or something. And his mother remarried and abused Norbert. So he's an abused guy. And he escaped from the mental institution. And he met a druid, Ham. If you remember Ham, he looked a lot like Puck. And Ham has a full name that's unpronounceable. And when I did look this up, I remembered Ham, but I had to look up that he was an 800-year coma. And he used to sacrifice children. Now he sacrificed animals, which made Badger pretty angry.
Right. He was the Welsh character, right? And
that's right.
And as we all know, right, RRNT Welsh is not a real language. It's made up. It's a joke that these people.
Yeah. And Ham, and Badger lived with Ham in the castle, and the other characters were his caseworker. Do you remember the caseworker Daisy? and his wife Mavis, who was also a martial arts expert.
Badger, I read when it came out, and
Yeah.
I'm rereading Nexus, but I need to reread.
It was a wild comic because anything could happen with this character. Baron put him anywhere. There was anything that even made any sense at all. He had no superpowers. He just had a ton of different personalities. There's a list of them.
And you can almost explain away stuff on, is this because he's schizophrenic?
Yeah, you don't even know if the whole thing was just a fever dream.
Yeah, I want to
put his legal identity. Badger's
put
one.
some of the public eye into that. You know what I mean? Like I want people to be like, is this really happening?
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, I could see that.
He's really just like a dream of Nexus. It's like the fan theory of Indiana Jones. It's just the whole thing was a dream Han Solo had while he was frozen in carbonite.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
I believe that. Being in a coma at one point myself and having really weird dreams that I try not to think about or I won't sleep. So you should do a comic about that. I'm like, God, I'm freaked out. But Badger was one, and Norbert would change into Badger, and that's when he would start fighting people. It was almost like a Three Stooges thing, and then he would be a little kid, Emily, and Pierre was a homicidal maniac with a French guy, and he turned into a dog. Like he had all these personalities, and it went on. These four, the Complete Adventures of these 4 volumes. The next thing actually Baron should do is probably a Badger omnibus with Nexus.
Yeah, he did really well with Nexus omnibus.
A Badger omnibus with the first 5 comics in it.
Right. And he crossed over with Nexus an awful lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's kind of like really close to between the 2 characters. You kind of get Mike Baron between Nexus and
I never
Badger when you think about it, right?
When I reread,
there is a lot of Mike's personality in those characters.
Yeah, because when I talk to Mike, I think of a traumatized 9-year-old girl named Emily.
Yeah, well, a little Nexus has a little bit of Rude in it too, and Rude's just as nuts. So,
but next time I reread Badger, I have to think of it. I never thought of that Badger could be, because for those of you who read Nexus, he spends a lot of time in like a tank. Nexus, dreaming to keep himself at peace. So that's funny. If he keeps himself at peace dreaming about Badger,
that would be hilarious.
This is more messed up than you'd think.
I think the reason Mike's personality is in his characters is he's thoughtful, but he's also off the wall. Like he puts a lot of thought behind what he does, and he likes clever things, but he also likes to be random and unique.
Right. Yeah.
I think he's in a hospital right now.
Oh no. He
had spinal fusion. It was scheduled.
I didn't know that.
I think he's got to be in for a couple of days.
I didn't know about that either.
So we talked about Badger's personality. He's created by Mike Baron. It was contemporary with Nexus. So that's kind of funny that Mike Baron was writing Nexus, which was like this cosmic space opera, and then Badger, which was like a street crime, but yet psychological elements of horror and vigilante.
It's funny you picked that cover. That's like the typical Badger kind of situation right there.
And we used to drive my comic book store owner. His name was Larry, so we used to drive him crazy, and he was just like, he had enough of Badger. We just tortured him with Badger. But one of the things about Badger is after a while, he stopped wearing his costume. Like, as long as he had like that symbol on a red shirt, like he would wear.
I kind of like the costume though. Like, I do like that costume. Look at it; it's a nicely designed.
I like how half
Captain
of it is
Marvel, like with the red and blue.
pants.
I like the pants. I like it.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a shame
unique to see the pants with like the top part. That's more like a superhero.
Right.
Yeah.
There's Oscar. Hey, Oscar.
Oscar's here. I love Oscar. I was just talking to Oscar earlier. Oscar's working on some stuff. We got Matthew here. He's about to launch his comic soon. Let's hope for and pray for Mike Baron's recovery.
I think, it was scheduled. So there's that. So
yeah. I was going to say they're both kind of vigilante characters, Badger and Nexus. Like, Nexus is just a reluctant vigilante. Badger's a crazy vigilante.
One thing about Mike Baron is that he's realistic about all these superheroes are vigilantes.
Mhm.
because they're all vigilantes. They're all illegal in
Mhm.
theory. Batman ended up working with the police because they couldn't figure it out, like in the 40s and 50s, but how he was going to work outside the law so much.
Oh, by the way, Marcus, and I'm purposely give this teaser. In the Patriarch story, you're going to find out how superheroes legally operate within my
I
world.
remember you saying that, and I kind of thought
I really think this is a cool. So think about that and let me know what you think about that.
I will, because it is true, and you're like, we just all kind of ignore it, like Green Arrow. Like people can't do that,
Right?
and people have tried to do that in real life, and they get hurt really badly.
Here's an idea. I don't know if you did this in your universe, John, but letters of marque and reprisal, like what Thomas Jefferson did in the War of 1812,
Oh,
and
you
with like
bastard!
pirates in the Mediterranean.
You
Did
bastard!
did I call it?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't mean to.
Oh
I was just
well,
going off history.
it's logical.
Wow. There's going to be a whole article about letters of marque in
Ah, well,
written
pretend
by
edit that part out later.
Regina Lopez is writing about the history of the letters of marque.
Ah, well, I was going off history. I didn't know anything. I wasn't
Yeah.
trying to spoil your comment.
But I was I have
Jesus, sorry.
you ruiner. You're a ruiner.
I know I'm ruining. I have to go to bed too. I'm sorry.
But I
I'm
have
sorry
this
to hit and run like that.
Declaration of Independence and Constitution right on my desk, and I was rereading it, and I was like, why didn't anybody touch on this as far as
Well,
superheroes?
that's part of the brilliance. We could do a whole episode on this because I'm a big history nerd, kind of like Salty, and like what the brilliance of 1812 is like we didn't have a navy, and then we conscripted our merchants into a navy, and then we beat the most powerful navy in the world.
Right.
It was insanity.
Right. So
People don't understand how
now that
much
the cat's out of the
we
bag,
won 1812. They think we lost because they burnt the White House, but the reality is we drove them out within 24 hours. President escaped, government continued to function. We kicked so much butt, even at sea, like it was silly.
right? We in my world that still continued. There was supervillains operating in the ocean, and there was a ocean-based superheroes, and they were just like, we're going to reprise these letters of marque somewhere around World War II to operate the Pacific Coast Theater, and then they just brought it back, and then they just kind of like when Captain Atlas showed up in 1953, this guy's too powerful to not utilize, and he's a good guy. He's literally he's an Air Force captain, and they were like, we have to come up with a legal mechanism for this, so that the letters of marque, they stopped it from being enabled, and now superheroes, as part of government, they get health care, they get a stipend, but they also have to not tell how they really got their powers.
There's a lot of genius in letters of marque. I think we could fix a lot of problems with it, honestly. People,
And it's funny,
frown upon mercenaries, but I think sometimes it could be a great idea.
Somebody brought it up in the news like a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, damn it, people are gonna think I'm stealing from current events. Like I actually was writing a vigilante, like not the story, but it was a girl, a pretty blonde girl who was getting threatened with sexual assault, and she becomes a vigilante. And then I killed it once that girl got killed on the subway because I didn't want people thinking of me exploiting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it was actually on the light rail,
right?
Not that far from where I live now.
Right. But anyway, let's get back. So Badger, he's crazy, and he really doesn't have powers. He's just a scrappy, insane person who's physically like at his best and super well trained. So, like he could hold it in a pure fisticuff fight. He could hold his own with Batman. I always say Daredevil has, superpowers, so that's a different level. But like Nightwing, Batman, those kind of guys, that's the level that Badger is out. Now, people are going to say Badger has the edge because he's crazy and unpredictable, but then people are going to say Batman has the edge because he's smarter and more disciplined. But that's a whole fun topic to talk about on their own. And I wanted to bring up this comment. Nexus and Badger are what Superman and Batman could have been like if the creators had been lunatics and lived in the 80s. Yeah, I love that. I love the Superman Batman dynamic. I like the Apollo and Midnighter, and I know that they were there to be a gotcha with Superman, Batman, but they're gay, and then they kind of rose above that, became pretty cool characters, and then they returned to just we're Superman and Batman and we're gay. Well, once they got unskilled writers taking over for them.
Yeah, that's what they fall back to. Well,
Yeah.
I gotta run, you guys.
You got to run. So that's Badger. You want to talk about Madman, Marcus?
Sure.
Sure.
Frank Einstein, also Frank Einstein. He's similar to Badger. He was born under a different name, Zane Townsend. And I did buy Madman. I didn't have all the Madman books, but I got a lot of them.
Madman books are confusing. Like
they went through a billion publishers, like
Right.
Caliber, Tundra, IDW. I think I bought most of the Tundra books.
Yeah. And they're beautifully drawn and colored by Mark Allred and his wife Laura Allred. They are some of my favorite art.
He has powers. Like the biggest difference, he died,
right?
And he was resurrected, and he lost all. He's an amnesiac. He has no idea who he is. And if he takes off his mask, he's greenish blue, and with Frankenstein's scars on him. It was Dr. And I remember Dr. Boyford when he went nuts. You know, when he became that big-headed guy. Right. And then Dr. Flem. And they put him back together. And he realized nothing of his former life at all. But somehow, even though with his ugly, he has a girlfriend.
A beautiful chick, you know.
Yeah. Kind of like almost like a poinsettia chick.
Right. Yeah. She's
almost like the exact kind of idea. Not the exact idea, but like that was her thing. Josephine, I think. And like what Allred did was he somehow made everything like really sexy, like something weird. Like the first, like they talked about here. Oh, that's the Heroes package. Well, he was one of the few guys early on, the first one to draw it. Like most of the time, people just Kirby'd it. You know, like
right.
Everybody was
right now. This picture, there's no lines, but Allred would make him complete male anatomy in a costume. You know what I mean?
Right, so, right. Like you would have it.
Time, like, the women were
nobody did it.
The women were sexy, but paradoxically, it's kind of wholesome at the same time.
Right.
He really walks that fine edge. He makes things like sexy, but like I thought one of the sexiest characters was It Girl that he drew.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't make her. He made her look like a regular girl's body. You know, she didn't have this big Power Girl chest and costume on. She wore like regular girl clothes, like yoga pants.
Yeah, Luna, It Girl, yeah.
Yeah, but she was sexy. You know, he
had that way about him.
Right.
Did you ever read that one he did? He did that Untold Tales of Spider-Man annual that Joe Sinnott inked. It was really weird.
You put me on the spot. I don't know if I did or not.
I remember that was weird because some of the things were so correct and some of the things were so off because his proportions were like real proportions. They're not. Madman's not 8.5 heads tall, right? You know, he's like 7. But anyway, beyond that, that's just artistically. And he came back when they would, you know, he had power. He has powers.
Right.
He has super agility, like a Spider-Man-esque agility. Does not have super strength, but he has empathy and clairvoyance.
Right. He's got
psychometry and amplified. Yeah, superhuman intelligence reflexes. So he has a supernatural aptitude to learn. He can learn really fast, which I didn't remember because he kind of doesn't act that way. Yeah, I had the crossover with Superman. That's like a famous thing.
Right, but every once in a while that little eye on a stalk comes out.
Yeah, he just had like really odd powers. It was like kind of like a cross between a regular superhero comic and then reading something by Dan Klaus, you know?
Right.
Like definitely like the Fantagraphic, like I call not underground but the independent comics from the old days where it would be kind of like Jim Rugg, Ed Piskor type of work. Dan Klaus, 8 Ball, all that stuff. Like that kind of, that's what he kind of like Mike Allred kind of had that line, did mainstream and then into that independent realm. And because it was a really unique comic.
Right. Mark
I
Howard,
liked it. I really enjoyed it. I got it. I really enjoyed that comic.
it's
I
a
mean, it
real,
got to be too much to buy after a while.
it's a bizarre comic in that it's very character driven as instead of story driven. Like
Yeah, exactly.
most
I'm
of
trying to
your
remember
stories,
the stories, and it's hard to remember. Yeah.
like to the point when people tell me like the names of the stories, I'm like, oh, is that the one where like again, I'm gonna use the word paradoxically, like you get mad about comic books when you find out it's just Spider-Man and Mary Jane sitting around drinking coffee, but there was a lot of like Madman and Joe shopping and going for coffee and doing
Oh yeah.
coloring.
I remember one when Madman. What I remember, and this is when Madman was like about the size of the atom, and he was on some guy's nose who had acne, and he pops his pimple, and Madman shoots towards the mirror. I mean,
Right.
like stuff like weird stuff, and he would be in this situation, he would not know why, and he would figure his way out of it, and it was like kind of episodic that way. It was like, yeah, they would get coffee, and then what are we going to do today? Try to go to the movies, and he would never take off his, he'd do everything in his uniform,
Right.
which could change at a drop of a hat.
He was self-conscious. He didn't want people to see the scars. When I keep talking about the Pinocchios, he's another Pinocchio, but in that costume, he looks like a handsome man. So you kind of forget.
He's a Pinocchio and getting hot girls,
Right. Well, look, yeah, Ben Grimm's got Alicia. Hulk.
Yeah, well, she was blind though.
Yeah, but she was still a hot chick. You know what I mean?
Well, she looked just like Sue Storm at the beginning. Remember?
Right. That was creepy. They forgot about that. That was the whole point of her, was she looked like.
Crenshaw brings up the Creep. There's a whole bunch of comics that are that realm. The Creep, Hellboy to a certain extent comes from this type of feeling, this type of independent comics. The heroes, and they're kind of the mainstream, but they're kind of not. It's all about the same, that type of. That's what I think of Madman. There's a word I'm thinking about. I can't think of it. That's the issue of. And
the thing about Madman too is Mark Allred is still justifiably upset. He brought the cartoon to be animated, and they rejected him, and then made what was his name, Maniac or whatever.
Maniac, yeah, I remember that.
And he even has the exclamation point.
Right. Instead, yeah, they completely ripped him off.
Yeah. So, but he does have super strength. If you remember, he was ripping helicopters.
It doesn't say here super strength, but I remember him having super strength too.
Yeah, he was punching through walls. I remember. His
powers are a little plot driven, though.
Right.
Like whatever he could figure out, he all of a sudden had that power.
Like he was dead, so like poison didn't affect him. Like he could get shot and he'd be like, "Oh, this kind of hurts," kind of thing. But he mostly had psychic powers. Who was Vaughn Coleman and I were talking about powers, and he basically described psychometry. I'm like, "Oh, that's psychometry." And he's like he didn't realize this power had a name. He thought he invented it, but he could touch objects up their history.
That is such a Vaughn Coleman thing to do.
Right. I was like, Freakazoid. Thank you. Freakazoid. That's the name of the character. That was
Freakazoid, right?
But he had empathy. He could tell what people are thinking, not this nonsense empathy that the left talks about. He had clairvoyance and precognition. He could create illusions, and he had psychic blasts. Yeah. Yes, that's true. He had his yo-yo and a disc shooter, like that toy disc shooter.
That's right, the toy disc shooter.
And it would like hurt. It would like shoot little blades. Like, that hurts. So these are the two characters. Both of them are owner created, which I like. Mike Badger. Mike Barron still owns Badger. Mike Oliver. This is a battle of Mikes. I just realized. Mike Allred owns Madman. Both had top art.
Did you ever get Mike Barron's Mike Allred's David Bowie graphic novel?
He did a David Bowie graphic novel?
Yes, he did with a friend of mine, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I got to check that out.
A friend of mine, this kid came, now I got to remember his name. I saw him at Heroes Con. I had never met him in person, but he was an online friend, and he was a comic writer. He had a couple of things at IDW. He's coming up with doing an autobiographical graphic novel for David Bowie, who's going to draw it, and he got Mike Allred to draw because he's a huge fan. Of course, Mike Allred is like ahead of the writer who came up with this story, but it does really well. Yeah,
I know Mike Allred.
It's really good. It's an expensive book, but it's big hardcover.
He's a Mormon, and for his mission, he drew a comic called The Golden Plates, which is like John Smith discovered. I would like to get, just because I'm such a big fan of Mike Allred's art. I love his Silver Surfer run with Dan Slott. I just really like it. He did the why can't I think of it? The Extremes,
the Atomics.
Well, for Marvel Comics, the Extremes.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Writing it, Marco. That was a really weird period in X-Men history. They're like a whole X-Men team.
Steve Horton. My buddy Steve Horton wrote this book, and Allred's the first, because he's the one that sells the book. But they did this wonderful. It's a big hardcover. It's an original graphic novel biography of Ziggy Stardust. Oh, this is pretty cheap on Amazon, about $21. You might like it if you're a Bowie fan.
Yeah, but
I don't know if you're. Are you a Bowie fan?
Yeah, I'm a big Bowie fan. David Bowie's a big part of Patriarch and his wife's.
I saw Bowie in concert.
I never saw him, but as I was saying,
it was weird Bowie though. It wasn't really straight Bowie.
Every time I talk, you start talking.
Sorry.
So the Extremes was this weird X-Men part with You Go Girl and all of that stuff. So it kind of got memory hold. It kind of went. It was the biggest thing for a short period of time, and weirdly, they all died. And it's one of the few things, as far as I know, like they brought everybody back from Krakatoa, but they never brought back the whatever they were called, the Extremes. So, Extremes with an X. So I always wondered, like, is it does Peter Milligan and Mark Allred not want them to come back? But anyway, Red Rocket 7, yes, that was like a rock and roll superhero. I still haven't read it. The problem with that is it's weird size, so I put it on the side. I don't remember where I put it. So
wasn't he in a band too, Allred?
Yeah,
he did a little everything.
He's doing everything, and I love when his wife colors his stuff. All right, so let's get into the fight because I'm getting real sleepy now. So I don't think it's too difficult to come up with a premise. Like, you just put anybody next to Badger and he wants to fight him.
Get in the fight, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I could see these two guys, like, he's got his psychic probes out and everything like that. And he just picks up a menace because, like it or not, Badger's a menace. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
definitely. It's hard to read. So now they're drawn to a fight. What do you think?
When I went into this, I thought Badger was like, because he's so intense and he's not somebody who's going to give up any fight. Like, he's never going to give up because he's nuts. And because he's nuts, I thought he had an advantage. But as I started reading, reminding myself about Madman, I forgot Madman had all these powers. So Madman has the powers. He has super strength. He has super agility. So he could do everything Badger does plus. He doesn't even need super strength because he's got forget even the psychometry. Just the superhuman agility. Badger can take on Daredevil or Punisher or Batman because they have a normal strength. And but take on somebody like who is like is like Spider-Man agility would be really difficult.
I think like the whole, if you remember, he could weave these like psychic traps and tricks and stuff. I think out of anybody, I think Badger is the most vulnerable to that. He's halfway.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's funny because when up until this morning, I was like, oh, Badger's just gonna beat the crap out of Madman.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, and then I refreshed. I'm like, what exactly are his powers? And I'm like, oh yeah, he does do this, he does that. So I don't. Even the guns, stuff like that isn't an equalizer because Badger deals with people with guns all the time, but the psychic powers is the difference.
I think so. I think you're right. I mean, a better match for Badger would be Badger Master of Kung Fu, right?
Right. Yeah.
No powers at all. Who's a better martial artist?
I would say Shang-Chi wins that one. He's just more disciplined and focused.
Yeah. I mean, if Badger's just a unique character, he's hard to line up, right?
Yeah, I like I said, up until this morning, I was like, Badger win. It's funny, like, because I had Mark Elrod on. I messaged Mark.
I remember that.
I messaged Mike Barron. I was just hoping that they would come and put their 2 cents. Like,
well,
do creators always pick their own characters? Like, oh yeah, of course, my guy's going to beat his guy, or because you were shot when you keep saying the Patriarch's going to lose.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
Patriarch could beat Badger. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he could beat Badger. He could beat most non-powered superheroes.
And probably Madman.
Probably Madman.
Yeah, I mean, let's give him some credit. Well, Mike was not going to be able to come on, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't know he was
Mike Barron. I mean,
I want to say that one of the things that Mike is big on is fight choreography in the comic. So that it's really cool to see the kung fu and the actual fisticuffs in because Madman's not really about that. Madman's about character exploration and freaky weirdness. So if you want to see like fist fights, because I'm pretty sure most of the people watching this tonight probably never read either one of these comics.
I like both of these comics.
I like both of them for different reasons.
I liked all these comics. There was a time where I just bought comics. I wish I could have that time back.
I think like if you want to read a comic that's just bizarre and different and full of like charming character stories, that's Madman. If you want to read a comic that's just insane macho violence and fight choreography and bizarre in a different, almost scary kind of way, that's Badger. And I like them both, and they are different. What does Crenshaw say? Madman would have the edge, but they would end up teaming up against some emotionally disturbed gelatinous creature. Pretty true.
Probably true.
Most of the superhero fights, before it turns fatal, they always team up against the Red Skull or something like.
Madman did cross over with Superman.
He teamed up with Superman.
I got that issue. Yeah, I had that. I don't remember much about it, but I got it.
Did you ever read The Jam? Was that Bernie Maraud's The Jam?
I saw it. I don't think I might have read the first issue.
That's just a comic. I just didn't like it.
No, I don't remember.
It when it came out, and I bought it when this channel came out because I was like,
he just didn't like that. It's interesting.
It's just not good. He's not a good person. Like he's not a good person. Like, but the thing is, I think the writer thinks he's a good person.
That's interesting.
What I mean?
That would make it not a good comic. That's hard. Like if you write a comic and the guy is a bad guy, like I'm going to write a jerk, and that's kind of the point of the comic. It works. But if you think he's a good guy and he's a jerk, kind of like the left here, then you have issues that it's going to be a rough comic, right?
Right. Like if you're making Antifa Batman, you know what I mean?
Well, they tried. They're going to make Antifa Batman.
Oh, by the way, Absolute Batman's finally going to fight white supremacists.
White supremacy, because that's the biggest thing, John. You and I.
Finally, I can't wait.
You and I, the biggest supremacists ever, are the problem.
We're calling it for Madman. Just sheer power. Madman just has sheer power. Although Madman doesn't really display his power too much.
He's not really a fighter.
What's that?
Not really a fighter.
Right. I don't think the point of it's for a superhero comic. The point of isn't violence and fighting.
I love Mad. I got all the and I was trying to get all the back issues because I really liked Madman. And then I had a list of artists who the artists could draw my character, like Captain Courage, like who could and Mike Allred's one of them, right?
Oh yeah.
And
I'm still thinking about having him do a cover for one of my comics.
Yeah,
I mean, a good price, but
definitely
I just afforded it at the time.
And I wanted to get them all back to the beginning. They're hard to get, and then all of a sudden, just like all the independent comics back then, they would have 6-7 issues in a row, and you get them. It's on your pull list, and then you get your pull list, and you're like, I haven't seen Madman for like 6 months. What's that going on? And they just kind of end. They don't get canceled. They lose their publisher, and then you don't see them again.
Right.
And I think Madman, the Goon is like that. They're all like that.
The Goon is on hiatus because he's doing another book.
Right.
But he said he's getting older and slower, so it's just going to be a series of miniseries.
Of course. Well, this is the secret of art: is the more you know, the slower you get. when you're young and dumb and you don't know so much, you'll knock that out. But when you know more and you want to get it right, it slows you down. That never happened to Mr. Liefeld. He's always been the same.
Yeah. Well, when you're perfect from the beginning, you don't need to.
Perfect. Oh my God. Please, I deal with it every week.
So I'm gonna stop now because I gotta go to bed. You know.
Yeah, me too.
Work is rough. So chat, do you agree with this? I think. Oh, I was just about to say, anybody got any choices?
Tony has one. Van Helsing
versus Solomon Kane is a real interesting one.
Why don't we do that? That's good. I like Solomon Kane. I have to read up more.
And Madman, one of the things I really like, man, is the whole universe. You got the G-Men from Hell. You got the Atomics. There's all of these side characters. They're really cool, and each one of them can support their own comic.
I remember the Atomics. Yeah.
So Abraham Van Helsing versus Solomon Kane. That's a really good one.
Sure, we could do that.
I was thinking when you mentioned the Goon, I was like, oh, I'd love to do the Goon. Who would be a good, like the Goon versus Badger would be good. You know, these are two people without powers.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the poor Goon's name is.
I know.
I mean, I don't like internet. Well, we've discussed the internet names. I don't like to use internet lingo. I don't like internet lingo at all.
Right. The problem with Brainiac is he has so many different iterations.
Yeah, which Brainiac, you know?
Yeah.
The Goon was really good. That's one thing I kind of missed a lot of it. I know of it, but I kind of missed a lot of it because that was coming out after this. Although it came out earlier, they can't get everything. And I didn't just ever stop buying comics. It just kind of ended up that way because I had a family and it got expensive and I couldn't go to the store every week and all that type of thing, you know. Anyway, well, you're tired, so let's make this an Irish.
I'm thinking of like historical generals, you know, historical admirals, you know, kings, like, you know, for it's clobbering time, like Louis the 14th versus you know, I don't know, George the 5th or something. I'm just making up numbers, but so you know, we'll think about that. But you know what? How about Abraham Van Helsing versus Solomon Kane? Right away, I have an instant who wins. But this could be good just to talk about the character. Tony, you going to come back?
It's more fun just to talk about the characters than actually who wins.
Julius Caesar versus Genghis Khan. That's pretty good. The Goon versus Popeye. Popeye could like pick up battleships. You know what I mean?
Popeye was super powerful, and Bluto. They were guys he was as strong as Superman. Popeye. Right. People forget that.
We'll do Van Helsing versus Solomon Kane because that'll give us a good excuse. I think the fight is going to be one-sided. I think everybody kind of.
I have to read more. I like Solomon Kane, but I think it'll be a good excuse to talk about these characters. Tony, you going to come back on?
You know, I like when you come on.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go to bed, everybody.
Well, all right. Good night, John.
I'll see you Sunday with Sunday Comics.
What do we do? 106, 107, is it? No.
Yeah.
106.
See the 106 or 107, I forget. But
we're almost up to the first Burn issue.
We're still not at John Byrne yet. We're still the last one was.
Oh man,
we introduced Leandra.
I loved Cockrum, but when Byrne came over, there was something else. There was a magic to Byrne and the X-Men.
Yep.
And with Austin.
So Steve next Sunday for Sunday Comics. It's the next in line of the X-Men, and we'll talk. Oh, that's a good one. King Solomon versus King David.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good, interesting one. Maybe. But we'll do Van Helsing versus Solomon Kane just because I kind of want to talk about these as characters, and then the fight I think is going to be kind of quick. I think we all know who's going to win that fight.
Right.
All right.
Okay. Good night, John.
So I will. Bye, kids.